this, and we'll be good to go. But yeah, man, just from a macro, you know me, guys, I like the nodes, the big humps, the lovely volume humps. Um, and I mentioned that, you know, we break under there. I would look for a short coming back under. So I'm talking about this main one. So if we broke under it, I mentioned that, you know what, that would be a decent area to catch a scalp, possibly as remember one of the entry criterias that we went over, break, retest. All right. You can see that we did get a reaction at that POC slash high volume node. They're really close together. So this is more of like a zone. All right. But we did get a rejection. And it was, if you caught that, that was a pretty nice trade. It was about 2.5%. We dipped right into the demand that was within this level here. There was volume within here. There was things in here. So you should have had some good TPs along the way. But those are the little trades that I like with the journey because you can extract a lot of really cheeky moves off of this, off of these. And remember, guys, I went over three different ones. One was, and I'm going to do the shorts, was the tap, the reaction trade. The other one was the break over, break and retest. And the last one was the beautiful, amazing one that we actually got to break a structure, then a retest. All right, these are the three things, three different entry criterias that I'm looking for to get in. And we had it right over here. We broke underneath. All right, we broke underneath, came back up, retested. All right, broke underneath, came back up, retested. It didn't have the follow through. It couldn't get through that demand, and there's reasons. Look, this is a low volume node right here. So what does that mean? That means you have a lot of people that weren't able to get into trades at this level. So usually on low volume nodes, I know it's kind of counterintuitive. You're going to see a reaction of some sort. All right. But we got a very solid bounce. Very solid bounce from there. Um, First take profit if you're playing the SFP of this. I didn't play that. You had the high volume node up here. Say you got into a long around here. You're like, it's an SFP. I'm gonna get committed. You had your take profits. You had your high volume node. You had your POC of this range within here. So there was clear targets. But I thought once we broke underneath it, the plays were short. Now, now we got back over it. All right, and you can see I have my doodles here from some of the trades I took this week. All right, caught a couple shorts. I was shorting this. I was trying my best to short this because my philosophy was we have a point of interest. We lose that point of interest. Now, until we get over this, I'm expecting a rejection. The other thing that could happen is we get stopped out of that trade. We come back over this and then we get a retest. All right. And you see that happen. And that's kind of what's happening right now. All right. You have, and I'm on the 5 minutes, so you can't really see it. All right. But after these trades here, what happened? Where did we end up? We ended up back over the high volume node. We came down, retested it. It didn't like the short, came back up. Now what's the trade? Now I'm looking for a trade back off of that point of interest. And guys, this works not just with high volume nodes. If you're looking at, say, fibs, support and resistance, range high, range low, value areas, you can trade all of these levels based upon this entry criteria. All right, whether or not you break back within or under an important level, there's a good chance you're going to come back up and retest somewhere within that zone. All right. If you break under that level and then get back above it, there's a good chance you're going to come back and retest that level and see if buyers are going to come in the market to push it up or if they're going to be a dead fish and you're just going to break through that level. All right. This was, even though, and you guys can see how crappy, it's not a crappy trade, it's a 3R trade. All right. It was a 3R trade. This one right here. What did we have? All right. You could have actually longed this twice. You could have longed this one, or you could have longed this one. All right. Because it would have been the same concept of get above this high volume node or this point of interest. I'm expecting a retest. All right. If we start to come back down, me personally, with high volume nodes, I know range highs, range lows, the way Thor trades. If you get a tap of that level, unless you bleed through it or something, and it's like to the dollar, the next time you come to that level, you're probably going to break through it. And you can see we didn't hit in the same place. These were three different zones here. But I still find this a valid level until we can break, close, and retest. If we come to this line, I'm looking for longs. I'm looking for longs. And based upon market structure, I would love if, say, we come back down to this line, if we do something like this. Why would I love that? Because now I have confirmation of, one, reclaiming this point of interest, two, having a market structure break, support and resistance, and you can retest that level. So, unless I see this, say we do something like this where we come back and we can't get over it, I'm looking for a trade within here to take it down. But it's all based upon what happens at my point of interest. All right. So this trade over here, and you can see, like I said, it didn't tap all in the same place. But when you look at, if I were to show you, because my lines don't really represent the whole node. Remember, the whole node is this. I just don't, I rather put the line somewhere around that area. This is the whole node. Hold on. So you can see we dipped right back within that node here, and I felt that the trade was a long. And you can see, why was this only a 3.2R trade? Spartan, we look how much higher we went. You could have held on and been a bajillionaire. All right, one, I'm looking for the little cheeky plays. I'm looking for these little plays here where we come up. I'm taking profit at the break of this high or the POC. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking profit at those levels. Those are levels that I know that we could see resistance. Why, if I get into this trade, why am I trying to hold through all that down? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense because there's so much times that you see this go up and you get up to this supply level, and what happens? You get smacked right down, and now something you could have gotten paid on. Now you're sitting there with no freaking money and you're mad and you're like, oh, the market's rigged. But if you were to just extract this amount of money, guys, compounding, the journey's meant to be what's it called? The journey's meant to be a slow building of an account based upon compounding. All right? If you do these making 1%, 2% each trade, bro, your account is going to, you're going to see it exponentially grow. All right. So compounding is a great thing. These little trades, you can make a lot of money. And then you're not gambling. All right? Like, you're not gambling. You have a clear defined area where you consider yourself stopped out of the trade, where you don't want to participate anymore, or you have a clear area where you're taking profit or closing the trade. That's what you're doing. You're deciding there. So one thing me and Thor always talk about is, when you get into a trade, all right, no matter what strategy you decide to use, before you press long or short, you should have where the trade's invalid, what your entry is going to be, how much are you risking on that trade, and where you're paying yourself. If you don't have those things laid out before you press the button, don't get into the trade. You're just gambling at that point. You're taking an uncalculated risk. All right, you have to have a plan, and that will lead to these little cheeky trades. That was at like 10 o'clock at night. Freaking within, what was it? Hold on. Within 30 minutes, I was out of that trade. So I'm just saying, guys. There's a lot of things that you can get into, and a lot of ways that you can extract money out of this market. And you don't have to be in these huge trades. If you guys have noticed, my leverage, like I post my P&L sometimes, even though we're not supposed to do that. My leverage, I dropped it down from 50x, and I'm doing 10x. All right, I'm making sure that I'm just focusing, giving myself, putting the stop losses where the stop losses need to be, and risking the amount of money that I need to properly risk to build my account up. And slow and steady wins the race, guys. Like, remember, this is not about being king for the day and posting your 10,000% P&L. This is about learning how to trade and make money and gaining a skill you're going to have for the rest of your life. All right. So, I just really wanted to touch on what we look at. All right. Again, like, it doesn't matter what strategy you're using, every strategy has its validity, but you need to have a clear entry model to press. Like I said, when we get to a point of interest, I'm not just putting a limit here and hoping that it's going to pick me up and then V-shape recovery. All right. I am watching for, let's say we come back down to here. I'm not saying that's not my prediction. I don't know if we're going down to 63K. But what I'm looking for is either a break, a change of structure, the reaction trade where it is a tap. I don't like those. Or just a break and reclaim. If those don't happen, now, hold on. Now, what I'm looking for, and I'll move this over. Doot, doot. If we break this, I'm looking for a reaction trade like this. I'm looking for a failure trade where it tries to get back above this but then gets sucked back down. Usually you see a retest of that and move it down. Or again, I would love to see something where we build some type of structure, break that structure, and then have a retest. This, I think, is the most risk free, or not risk free, but the least. I think it's the more calculated entry because you have multiple confluences to confirm, a this might be a valid trade. But again, guys, these are like the main things. There's 6 things here that I'd be looking at when we get to these areas. You can't have a bias. You know what I mean? Because if this is breaking down like this, why am I really looking for longs if we're not above this? That doesn't make sense. So unless I see price react like this, I'm gonna be cautious on whether I'm longing or shorting. And then I don't mind getting in on the retest. Sure, it's great to get that to the dollar entry down here, but I really don't mind getting on that retest. I feel a lot more secure getting on that retest. All right. And there's different ways you can be cheeky about it. Like, depending, and especially when you get better. I'm still here, right? All right. Especially when you get better on entering and getting into trades and feeling more confident, you could take breaks of this level. You got to be careful though. So, what I mean is, let me put this back. Hold on. Let me delete these. Give me 1 second. Please hold. Boom, 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 boom. Is that it? No, sorry guys. I'll just delete these manually. Boop, boop. All right, say that you have a break, you lose the POI, and then you work yourself up back above it. A more aggressive entry would be entering on that. But guys, I would suggest waiting for the retest before you enter. Sure, there's going to be the trades where you don't get that retest, where it just goes off from here. Majority of the time, you're going to get a retest. All right, but I've gotten into trades very aggressively and usually on the lower time frames where I have some type of structure going into this break of that, where I can be like, all right, I could put my stop relatively close. You know what I mean? But me personally, guys, every time I do this, it ends up doing this. Boop. Or just taking out that low, coming up, getting that proper retest and go. All right. So I would suggest being able to look at these on the higher and lower time frames because again, so if I were to see this, all right, hold on, that looks horrible. If I were to see this on say the 15-minute or the hour, what I want to see on say the 5 minute or the 1 minute would be we break this, we come up here, and as we're coming down to retest, so we come up, as we're coming down to retest, we get like a mini accumulation within there. And that can be this can on the higher time frames, this can be like, oh crap, I need to look at this area. This is when you dial it down to a lower time frame and you look for a confirmation at that area. Again, guys, I am not the type of person that say that we break above this. I'm not going to put a limit here now. I'm not going to do that because again, the times that I do that, it ends up just slicing through it like butter. I want to see confirmation. I want to see confirmation at my point of interest when we get there. All right? And it usually helps to look at the higher time frames first, kind of get a grasp of what exactly you have and then drop down to the lower time frames and that's where you're looking for your entry criteria. Because and I'll show you right now. Say I'll make my point right now. Say that you do put the limit here. Where do you have to put your stop? You got to put your stop down here. All right? And you're going for, say, this level right here. Look at that. That's a 0.95 trade. Now, when you drop down and you see, hey, we got an accumulation and you decide to enter off of this, to that same high, look at the risk to reward. It's still not an amazing trade, and that's because my doodles look like somebody special drew them. But you guys get it. Look at this risk to reward. It's a 0.95 versus you're losing more. Like it's bad. That's not good. A 0.95 is not good at all. Versus a 2.69 or a 2.7 risk to reward. All right. So when you're able to identify things on higher time frames and then drop down, you're able to pinpoint that POI and really take advantage of the risk to reward. And you can get in and it's going to be quick. You can get in, get out, take your money, you're done for the day. Make your 2%, 3%, 1% a day. And then just walk away. Go touch grass, you know? So I think that's about it, guys. Do you guys have any questions, concerns? Okay. All right. Cool. So,
Cool, cool.
anybody got questions, concern? Yeah, you might have to restart Discord. I have it recorded, so the POI can be any area. All right, so I wouldn't say any area. There are some POIs that work better than others. A freaking 1 minute support and resistance level is not going to work as good as a daily or a weekly or a monthly support and resistance level. It's not at all. All right. So I definitely like to look at more, because it's not always like more importance of that POI level. Like, is this a multi-month resistance that we're looking at? Or is this a resistance level that's only been a resistance level for 3 days? You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, anything really can be one, but I definitely look for the more important ones, like the fib pools. Like I rather a strong fib pool over a couple weeks to see that. Like I'm gonna take that 618 with a lot more decisiveness versus the one that's on like the 1 minute time frame. But POYs can be Fibonacci's. They can be support and resistance level, range highs, range lows, um, value area highs, value area lows. The only, like it's literally that, a point of interest. It's an area where I am now interested in trading. My POIs, you know, are high volume nodes. White Phoenix POIs, supply and demand liquidity runs. Thor's range highs, range highs, range lows, POCs, value area highs, value area lows. Everybody, even Boyan, what's his POIs? Weekly POCs. Freaking areas of imbalance within order flow. It's just the area where we're deciding, all right, I'm willing to start looking for one of these entry criteria to happen at that level. All right. You know, a lot of people, they see a certain level and they think, oh, it's just going to be to the dollar. But you can see sometimes you do get to the dollar, but a lot of times you bleed through, you know? And it's like, how many are you going to long it each time? Every time it gets to this level, are you going to long it? No. That's stupid. Like, I've seen it happen many a times where we just do this boom, 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 with no clear retest of it. What am I gonna do? Every time we get above it, I long it. Every time we get it below it, we short it. No, I need to see, like I said, and that's where it's valuable to hop on the lower time frames. Something happening that's showing, all right, this is an area for a good long. So hopefully I answered that. Yeah, the POC, exactly, exactly. POC, anything that you find important. And yeah, no, no, no. Entry criteria is and this is my definition. A POI is an area where I look to get involved. Entry criteria would be watching how price reacts and giving me a beneficial entry model, which would either be a break and retest, a change of structure, an SFP, something like that. All right, depending, again, guys, I know there's a million and one strategies out here. I know it. But the thing is, you can approach each strategy with the same concept, you know? Like, okay, I'm a fib trader. All right, we're approaching the 618. Am I just going to limit the 618 there? No. I'm going to watch how price reacts at that 618. You know what I mean? Like, are we doing. We're coming down to the 618 here. Are we just bleeding through it? And if we do bleed through it, when we get above, are we retesting it? Are we forming some type of accumulation at the 618? Sometimes you will get these V-shaped recoveries where it just comes down, tags it out, and then on the way, on the way, you know. But it's just, and that's why me, like, I've gotten a lot more conservative with the trades I take because I don't always get these entry models. These things don't always happen. Look at these, like these wicks and stuff like that. I missed the trade. I missed the boat. But I've noticed that my account is not mad at me, and it's slow. It's not a I'm not making 300% a month, but I'm not losing money. I'm actually turning a profit. So, you know what, man? I'll take the scarce amount of trades for the longer growth of the account. And that's just my personal preference, like, because I'm a dopamine junkie, man. I freaking Gambling's awesome. OBs are great. OBs are great. And honestly, man, like the more confluences, and that's what's cool about points of interest, guys. Points of interest can become stronger. Say you got a weekly support and resistance level, but that's also where a 4 hour order block is. And that's also where the POC of the mini range down there is. And that's also where the 618 is. When it's like freaking all of those things, it's like Thanos with all the infinity rings, you know? All you need is a snap and it's good to go. And you have more confluence, you know? You just have to be able to put these certain areas, these important areas together and realize, okay, this is an area that I should be looking out for. And now how am I going to enter on that way? You know? Like how am I going to do that? Some people, yeah, stacking confluences is the way to do it, man. Like the more stuff there, it gives you a more pinpoint or sniper area of where you can get into and where do you need to put your stop. Because say I'm shorting this high volume node. Say I'm shorting this high volume node. All right? I have to realize, man, we have a POC from this range right above it. So I'm going to have to de-risk my trade in order to make, I'll show you now. And I'm not saying this is a trade to take. Maybe it might be. But I have to de-risk it so that this stop loss equals 1%, which is that's a pretty big stop loss. That's $500, 0.7%. So I have to de-risk that trade a lot. And honestly, guys, that's another thing. And I will end with this. I know I'm yapping right now, but these entry models, you have to understand where to put your stop loss and make sure. I don't care if this is your trade. Ah, or this is your trade. I don't care. Or let's just for some redundancy, or if that's your trade. I don't care what the stop loss is. What I care about is how much I'm risking on the trade. No matter if it's $500, if it's $5,000, if it's $150. I should only be risking maximum 1% on that trade. And you have to do the math, you have to figure it out, and you have to de-risk your position size. You can't go in there and put 20,000 contracts every time you trade. Oh, that's just the number I trade. Every trade is different. Every stop loss needs to be in a specific place. And if you do not calculate, you're going to get chopped up and you're going to be like, why is my account bleeding? Because guess what, guys? We're wrong a lot more than we're right, especially when we're starting off. But if you mitigate, if you figure out how to control your risk management, You can preserve your account and allow yourself to be wrong. But if you're there and not paying attention to position size, say, oh, this trade I'm risking 1%, but this trade I'm risking 4%, and this trade I'm risking 10%. Dude, you're chopping away at your account. All right. So you guys got to realize how to set your position size in order that no matter, again, if it's a 500, 5,000, or $100 stop loss, you're still only risking at maximum 1%. And that's my TED talk.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Stop loss to market structure and volume profile. Yeah, man. But yeah, like, but just risk what, like, honestly, I don't care what you're trading. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. And trade like that. Risk only 1%. There is no way that you're going to, you know how many times, if you're risking 1% and your account's slowly going down, so first time it would be, say $100, you're risking $1. The second time you'd be risking 99 cents. Third time, so on and so forth. You know how many times you can be wrong before you blow your account? A lot. And guess what? We're not wrong that much. And I'm just saying, guys, once you get your risk management like once you get your sizing correct, the game's going to completely change for you guys. But you got to understand, you have to do the little bit of homework it takes before entering the trade. And one thing that will ensure is that you're not taking impulse trades. You know, if you do your due diligence before your trade, again, what you need to know, the three things: what's my entry going to be? What's my stop, or four things: what's my stop loss? What's my take profit? And how much am I risking on this trade? Am I risking the full 1%? Am I risking 0.6, 0.5? So it has to be boring. This is work, guys. Not everybody's freaking TGR, Danny Trades, who are these other degens all over, Tory Trades, all these guys that make it look exciting, and it's not supposed to be exciting. Go in, punch the clock, get paid, leave. Do your job, and that's it. Red Elephant, that's like the flashiest trader I know, man. Straight from the LBC. But yeah, man. If you guys have any question, and I know this is a lot. This sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun to do that. But you know what, guys? It's gonna allow you to get around that learning curve. The learning curve for trading is the learning curve. All right, everybody's gonna have to go through it. But if you can give yourself enough time to get around that learning curve, once you figure it out, you're printing money. Like you're able to literally wake up, press a button, and make money. So, if you risk your ass every trade, you're going to get caught before you even get to the middle of the curve. And then you're going to be like, oh, trading's a scam. This sucks. The whole objective: don't blow your account, make money. But, yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Anything else, guys? Because that's really all I got. I did record this, and this was only, what, like 30 minutes so far?
Like 40.
34 minutes.
Yeah.
34
It was
minutes.
good though.
I think so, man. Like, I'm not going to convince you to use the points of interest that I use. You know what I mean? I can tell you, hey, I like looking at this, and I like these levels. These levels interest me. But you know what? Without the context of how would I act when we get to that level, you know, I think it's a disservice to you guys, because at the end of the day, you need to find the trading style that works for you. All right? You can't trade like me. You can't trade like Thor. You can't trade like White Phoenix, Jay, Boyan, T. You can't trade like us because you're not us. We have different life schedules. We have families. We have things that we're doing. We have certain times we can trade at. We have certain risk we can take or can't take that you guys can. I don't know. But our trading styles are different. And you have to find the trading style that works best for you. And yeah. But do you want to add anything, Thor?
No, dude,
Okay.
that about covers it.
All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
There's there's not a whole lot of with Bitcoin like happening right now. We are getting a dump, man. We are below the point of control.
Let's go.
We're tapping into 67.2, which kind of cleans up that 15-minute fair value gap.
Yep.
I don't know if we lose this or not, but if we start losing this and back testing 67.6, like start closing in here on these mids,
Mm-hmm.
then then I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe my call for 70.9 ish, 70 like 71 to 70k is not going to work because tell you what, right now that is bearishly engulfing on the 1 hour time frame right now. So still got about 25 minutes to kind of turn this around, but
Did you notice
this
though?
is the
Oh
level
wait,
right now. Like this is it.
wait. Did you notice anything
What's that?
about the 1 hour?
What about the 1 hour?
No pecker on
What,
it.
what am I supposed to be looking at?
The no pecker on that 1 hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see it, man. I do. I see it. 67.2 is like, I mentioned the zone in the New York Open. And as I'm kind of sitting here watching it, man, there's no pecker on the wick, but if this closes down here, it's going to leave an order block right around the point of control. So
Yeah.
67.6 up to 67.8 is definitely going to be a place that I'll be looking for a short if it starts heading a little bit lower than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of waiting to see if we're going to close and hold below 67.6. If we're not, well, then that's a different story. But we'll see what happens in here.
I like this little order block in here, man. I like that little order block. The from. Do you have anything there at
That's
67
exactly that's
one
exactly what I'm talking about. 67.2
two?
ish.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
67 182.
and guys, same deal. Point of interest. What happens in a point of interest if we get some type of reaction like that? That's how White Phoenix trades order blocks. It's the same concept. It's a back test of a level of a point of interest. And does White Phoenix limit them? No. He looks for confirmation based upon market structure.
Technically, this would be a swing fill on the 5-minute structure.
Mm-hmm. That was a nice fill, though. That was a nice fill. There's still a little bit more. I was thinking about that. That was one of the things I was looking at yesterday. Let me see. Let me just make sure I'm not talking crap because if I am, I don't want to do that. I feel bad. Yeah, this was an idea I was looking at. We got this first one, the bounce, but I also was looking at this last night. And guys, same deal. Like, again, same deal. Same exact deal. If I get into an area, this is a point of interest, this order block, I'm looking for some type of reclaim. Where am I taking it to? Right back up to this one. Why am I going to take it all the way to the moon? I'm going to take it there. And then I'm going to look to see if we're getting a rejection. If we do get above it, say we just blast through it and it takes my first take profit, now I'm looking for something like that to happen at the guys level to level. Break and retest. Market structure shift. Literally all the buzzwords. You know what I mean? So just that's how I think if you guys approached points of interest like that instead of this level has to hold, nah, man, the market's gonna move the way the market moves. Like straight up, it's gonna do what it does. Like you just have to be able to react. We're not here to predict. We're here to watch something happen and react to it. So unless you're Thor, because Thor has a freaking crystal ball in the
Dude,
form
not
of
all the
Iron
time,
Man.
man. I'm human just like everybody else. I take my licks as well. So it's just that after 5, 6 years of trading, I've become more conservative too.
Yeah,
Like I I want I want the trades that kind of stand out. You know what I mean? The ones where it's you trade what you know and you leave what you don't. Like if you're hesitating on a level or whatever, you're not too sure. Like I just don't have time for that anymore, man. Like I want the good ones. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. Like, why we're not here to gamble. We understand the object. What's the objective? Make money. And if I'm not more certain that I'm gonna make money than lose money, I don't want to take the trade. I want to have a good conviction behind my trade. So you know, so I'll wait for these confirmations. I'll wait for these confirmations, man. Like break retest. This one here was a come up, go down. This one here was a tap of this order block down here, or a close of that fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, so I like that level that you're talking. We're pretty much there right now, 67.2. This
We're
whole
touching on it, dude.
this whole
We're
area
touching on it
here.
right now. Yep.
Oh,
And you already got a 30-minute close under 67.6, which is an internal high. So
that's not good.
even if you find a bounce here, I'm not interested in trying to catch a knife from this level. I would be more interested in starting to reclaim 67.6, reclaim VWAP slash point of control, and then find a long entry if things are looking a little bit better on the oscillators. But right
Hell yeah.
now, I'm not trying to catch a knife here. I'm trying to see if we might actually get a bounce and reject from 67.6 or reclaim 67.6. I don't really see a whole lot underneath where we're at right now. I don't. So you start busting through this, then it might be GG's, guys. It might be GG's.
Yep. Yep. I don't want to see us fall back into this low volume node
You
here.
got like 20 minutes just on the 2 hour time frame. So you close the 2 hour candle back in here, then yeah, I'll start changing my tune on seeing 70K.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And guys, we're underneath the big level right now for me. Same deal. Like I don't know, it's not the same exact level as Thor, but I want to see us get back above 67.4 and hold it. That's what I want to see us back test it and start
Wow,
moving up.
dude, that's a $200 difference. You might as well just say the same thing.
Yeah. Like I want to see, but the thing is, you got to understand now we have some supply in here and stuff like that. So is it really worth it to try to do? There's a yeah. But again, we're not here to predict. We're here to react. All right, King
On the
Sun.
1 2 minute time frames, you had actually filled that and then back tested 67.6. So that could have been the short entry, but on the mid to higher time frames, you don't have any back test of that. Like
Yeah.
5 minute, yeah, you touched it to the dollar.
Hmm.
15 minute, you're just sliding right through, man. So
Yeah.
again, it's like now or never for me, right here, right now, now or never.
That'd be cool. But it does look like it's kind of poising itself up. That if it wants to pump, it's gonna knock some crap out. But Asia's gay, and they
Well, it deviated and then back tested 69 162 today. That was the internal high. It tapped to the dollar. if hypothetically this is to bounce and start heading up, then yeah. But you have to start reclaiming some of these levels that I mentioned. Otherwise, it's down.
Down.
So
Yeah, man. Yep. And then back to Monday's highs or Monday's low. Oh, we already took out Monday's low. Did we take out Monday's lows? Yeah, we took out Monday's lows. Weekend lows. Sunday's lows. Wait, did we take out? Is that Monday? No, that's not Monday. Yeah, that's Sunday because the market is at. When does the new daily candle open on Eastern time? The time change always messes me up because Asia opens at the same time. So let me see. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. All right. If anybody could tell me that information, that'd be cool. What time Asia opens, or what time the new daily candle starts? I don't know if it's hour before or an hour later. Not a lot. Not a lot. My stimmy check. My stimmy check. That's what I started off with. And I lost it all. Yeah. But we still dumping.
we're still trying to hold 67.2 ish. So
Yeah, we are.
you have a few bullish divs on the very low time frames, but I don't think it looks all that great.
There's really nothing. Just trying to see if we're gonna bounce from this order block. Where would we bounce from? I don't know.
Tough call, man. There's really not anything below you.
No. I don't know.
65.7 has already been cooked. The value area has been cooked. A lot of the low time frame stuff as far as like obvious order blocks or anything like that have been cooked. Volume really doesn't start to pick back up until you hit like 66.9. So 66.9 looks like it was mitigated on the way up too. So I, again, man, I'm kind of sticking with my guns. Like you really need to hold this, and then you need to start reclaiming 67.6 and show some strength here. Otherwise, um, I just don't see a whole lot standing in your way. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot standing in your way.
Yep. Yep.
Locally, this is a GP too, so
Is it?
yeah,
It is. Yeah. Nice. Like 618, 66 on the dot. That's funny.
I'd say like to some extent you're already breaking structure in here. It's not clear and concise, but on the lower time frames, you're breaking structure. Like 5 minute time frame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even on the 15 minute, even 15 minute structure is not broken. If anything, you would have wanted like more of a swing fail, and right now I'm not seeing that, man.
Yeah.
Definitely not seeing that.
If we do come up, I like
I'm seeing weakness.
cause of that break of structure there. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Let me see what you got.
This.
You don't even have your screen up, dude.
Oh crap. I can't even share it again. You're talking about the break of structure at 40 or 67.4, right?
60, well, yeah,
Okay,
67.4.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
granted, it's just like one swing fail after another swing fail on the 15-minute, but once you go down to the 5-minute, you can kind of see that that was your 67.5 or 4 was your lower high for a higher high. So now you're kind of breaking that, man.
Yeah.
You're breaking it.
Toma.
I don't see any significant reaction here either, Like I don't see anything as far as like, oh yeah, we just tapped into a huge limit order. Now watch this sing, you know.
Yeah,
There's no buying tell here. There's no nothing going on.
yeah.
There's no sharp reaction.
This is ugly. This is
It's getting
ugly.
there, dude. It's getting there. You got 11 minutes to close this hourly candle. You close this hourly candle and yeah. I mean, it ain't looking all that great, but we'll see. We'll see, dude.
Yeah.
See, sometimes it's things like this where if you catch the knife and you don't get burned, then you get a nice entry. If you don't catch the knife, sometimes you watch this sink and then you have to look for a late entry. Like in this case, man, because you were closing and holding above the point of control, I would much rather. I don't even care how far this dumps. It's completely irrelevant. You start backtesting 67.6 up to the point of control at like 67.9 ish, then I'll be looking for shorts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't mind a late entry because of like what we were doing prior to dumping. I don't mind it at all. At least I didn't get burned on catching a knife. You know how many people got burned on shorts yesterday and probably today? Like
Yeah.
I saw so many people getting burned because of having like no patience whatsoever.
Yeah. Yep. A
And
lot
not
of
only
people.
that, man, like, there's some positives to this. If you didn't get in on the short, there's still positives. The way that, like, how aggressive this is dumping right now is going to leave a huge fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame, possibly the two. All these higher term time frames are going to leave a fair value gap all the way back up to that point of control. So whether or not you find something at 67.2 or slightly lower or wherever it lands is completely irrelevant. You're going to have a nice opportunity for a retracement short. All right, dude. I'm off. We've been going on for about an hour.
Yeah.
I hate this week so much. Yeah. Dude, eventually you'll learn that, like I said earlier, it's not a matter of trying to catch a knife at every single level. You put such a burden on you psychologically when you do that. Like, I've seen so many people come and go. I've seen so many people where they're like, I have this specific goal for this day. Every single day, I have to meet these goals and these demands. And I have to do this. This is what I'm setting. And dude, when you put yourself in a position like that, it becomes much harder to trade. You start looking at everything in a different light. You start thinking to yourself, like, this is your short, this is your long. I have to take this, I have to take that. You don't have to take anything, man. You don't have to take anything. Like, just wait for the better setups.
Mm-hmm.
66.9. We came into 66.990. We're finding a slight bounce here. I did say that's kind of where volume picks up at. So we are finding a slight bounce, but and again, you do have some local bullish divs happening here on like 15-minute, like mainly just a 15-minute and under. But Yeah, you have time to see how this plays out, man. You have time. You're going to leave a huge fair value gap if you don't find a bounce here and start reclaiming 67.6. Maybe we just had a slightly deeper retracement than 67.2, but my point still stands. So,
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, man, like when you put such a burden on yourself, and
To get those to the dollar entries.
it's not even to get the to the dollar entries. It has nothing to do with the to the dollar entries. It has everything with doing like, okay, I'm going to get into day trading, and you know what? I'm going to make, my goal is to make, I don't know, man, $200 a day. And then you fret over everything, like you start looking at things in a different light. You're like, oh, this is definitely a bounce. I'm going to take this. And then you get wiped out. You're constantly trying to catch a knife. And you're just putting a burden on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Low key, that's what Jay did today, was try to catch too many knives. Yeah, it can happen to the best of us.
This market will
It
humble
can
you
happen to the best of
so
us.
quick. It really will.
Yeah, and it will, man. Like it will. It'll definitely humble you for sure. 1 minute you think you're on top of the world and you're just like the best trader ever, and you're like, yeah, I'm looking at this level, and it just, dude, you go short and you get wrecked. You go short and you get wrecked, or vice versa. And
Yep.
you're like, well, maybe I wasn't as good as I thought it was, you know? So patience, man, patience. It's nice when the good trades come your way. But if it took you 10, 15 times to find that good trade, then there's no way your risk management is on point. You will lose your money over time, and you'll probably be out of the Discord in a matter of a month or two.
Straight up.
I'm just saying it the way that it is.
Preach. Preach, brother. Yes, absolutely. You see it. You see it all the time. You see it all the time. And it sucks. It sucks because you guys, a lot of you guys are cool as hell. And
Ugh.
I hate when I see a lot of y'all leave, you know? But guys, remember, it's a slow progress. Slow progress. All right, man. Again, if you can't turn $100 account into a $200 account, you have no business trading with more than $100. You have no business putting 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, $100,000 into the market. None at all. If you
How
can't
many
turn,
times have we heard that sad story over the years? I
yeah, man.
lost my retirement. I lost, my wife is going to kill me. I lost all of our savings. I did this. I
Yep,
did that. And at the end of the day, as much as I have a big heart, you did it to yourself.
straight up. We're telling you guys. Guys, again, I say it all the time. It's not about being king for the day. All right? It's about freaking learning a skill that you can use for the rest of your life. All right? And those big wins, if you're systematic with how you trade, you're going to catch the big wins. You are, but the thing is, if you're systematic, you're going to prevent the big losses. And that's the biggest part about it all. Is just mitigating how much you lose. You know, I we mention all the time that there's traders that I know of that have like a 40% win rate. 40%. Out of 100 trades, they lose 60 and only win 40, but they're profitable. How is that possible? Because their risk management is on point. You don't have to be right every time. You just have to make sure, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but you just got to make sure you're making more money than you're losing. No need to make it more complicated than that.
What's funny is technically speaking, at an 18-hour order block that was sitting at 67 or 66,970. And you essentially just tapped into that.
What time
I
frame?
was saying that's where volume 18. I was saying that's where volume kind of picked up, and now that I'm looking, man, that was like right into an order block.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I don't know,
fits.
dude. I'm not here to like convince myself that we're still going to come up to 70.9 or 70k, 70.1 somewhere in there. That would be nice because that would fill a lot of like discrepancies towards the high of the range. It would also kind of fill out this volume profile a little bit. But
Hmm.
so long as we're under the point of control and so long as we start closing midterm timeframes under the point of control, I'm forced to look at this in a different light. I
Yeah.
just am.
Because, and you know what? I think that's an amazing thing that you said that, because it's showing you can't be biased in the market. Just because we want something to happen doesn't mean that it has to happen. You
Yeah,
have to adjust.
totally agree.
You
Yeah.
react. Again, you're not predicting. Sure, you can say, I'd like to see us go up to 71K, but if we break underneath the X, Y, and Z level, I'm not going to be looking for that anymore. I'm going to react differently based upon what the market does. So, you guys are going to
You
get it,
can't
man.
do that if you're trying to catch knives all the time, though.
Guys, anybody in this chat, do the journey, man. Do the journey. All right, I would show you, but my Discord's bugging out. I can't share my screen right now. I can't even get out. Like, it's weird right now. But there's a tab. I'll post it in the chat. Do the journey, man. For it can start with $100 account and just take slow wins.
Dude, we did the calculations with that, even on spot at like, what was it, $100 on spot. If you earned 1% and you just compounded that 1% every single trade, if you did that every day where all you got was 1%, now 1% plus your fees, right? You got to include the fees. So if on Bybit right now on spot, it's maker taker is zero point 0.1, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a maker or taker, it's zero point 0.1. So you need to make 1.2% on spot. But we did the calculations. You do that every day for a year. And what does that add up into, Spartan?
Like eighty
I know it
thousand,
was something
ninety
like a
thousand.
100 grand.
It close
Yeah.
to it with $100, and then if you do $300, it's like half a mil. If you do $500, it's like whatever. But it's only 400 trades. It's 400 and something
The
trades.
thing is it's just not exciting enough for most people.
Yeah,
They're like $100, 1% of $100. Like I'm not going to make any money. I can't even eat off of that. But that's besides the point. The point is like if you can do it with $100, then maybe you can do it with 50 grand.
yeah.
And
It
instead, if you can't do it, you only lost $100
Yep.
instead of 50 grand. There's multiple ways of looking at it, man. Multiple ways of looking at it.
Yeah. 100%,
Anyhow,
man.
I'm out for the night. That's
Awesome.
it
Me
for
too.
me. I will see you guys for
I'm done for the
for New York Open in the morning.
I'm done for the week. All right. I have an event on Saturday. I'm super excited about. So
I think Friday markets aren't even open, so
it's
it's
yeah, it's Good Friday.
yeah.
Love you too, man. All right, Sandlot, you're the goat, guys, I posted in the chat the journey tab. Check that out. Try to understand the concept of it. And again, guys, you could have your DGen account, but start a journey account too. You know, if you want to have your DGen and you need the dopamine rush and all that, but start a journey account where you're slowly taking it, and you're gonna see at the end of the year how much money you made, and you're gonna look at your P&L graph and notice the exponential growth of your account. Exponential.
Do it on spot too, man. Do
Yeah,
it on spot.
it's
So
1x.
you can free up your leverage account. You can be playing with spot and then you can play with leverage on the same account. You know what I mean? You could have two trades going at the same time.
Yeah, man.
It's not a bad gig. I did it for a while and it was pretty cool. Like I didn't do it with just $100, but in the beginning of the journey, I followed through with everything that we were talking about and I did it for a while. Like I remember some like spot trades where I was actually underwater by 0.75%. And then I watched it come up for 1.5%. I still see that's the beauty of it. It's such a small amount of money that if your entry isn't on point, you can hold that you can hold that trade on spot underwater for a while till it is 1.2%. It's really not the end of the world. It would be if like shit starts to dump, you know what I mean?
No,
But
you
I
need
think
a
that's kind of hard to do. Like if you're working off of the higher time frames on oscillators or your indicators or whatever else, and you're underwater for a little while, but things look like they're going to round out and come back up, it's not an issue, man. It's
no.
not an issue. If anything, it's going to teach you a little bit about like where you should be looking for entries compared to where you did enter. Like you'll learn from it. You'll
A
learn
hundred
from it.
percent. 100%. And guys, that's what it's about. Hey, you're supposed to take as many. Like, all right. And I know I don't want you guys to get this twisted. I don't want you to over trade. But just like anything else, it's about the 10,000 hours you put in. All right. The only way you're going to learn how to trade is by trading. And the thing is, you want a lot of chances to get it wrong.
Well,
You want to make it so if you get it wrong, you're not wrecking yourself. You can, okay, I take that lump. It's real money, so it hurts a little bit. Um, what did I do wrong? How can I fix it? And like Thor said, you'll start noticing.
for that is because it's still real money and it will affect you psychologically. It just won't hurt you. You know what I mean? It's not going to like kill you when you're playing with tens of thousands and you take a bad loss. Like a few bucks here off a spot on a few $100 account is still real money and it will still play an effect on your psyche. But there's good reasons for that, man. It's managing your emotions at the same time, you know? It's managing your emotions at the same time. It's good for you. Paper trading is just dumb, man.
Yeah,
It's just stupid.
you'll take
Cuz
trades that.
you know it's fake money and you know it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
But when it becomes real money, that's a different story.
Yep.
Anyhow, dude, this is the
All right.
last time I'm going to say it. I'm off.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys in the morning.
Y'all have a great one. God bless. Make sure everybody does well. Be good. Don't do anything stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. All right.
See you, dude.
All right, man. Later. Hey, guys, remember Jay's giving away the.